I'm not sure.
Comment and let us know.
Let us know. We need to know if the light goes off. So, welcome to Vlog Thursday, and as I think I checked, there's over 5,300 of you. So, we were excited about 5,000. Now we're at 5,300. There's more of you.
So 300 in a week.
300 a week. We're excited about that.
That's awesome! Yay! Tell all your friends.
And someone sent us a box. Now, honestly, I just got the box, and they put it on my desk, and I was out of the office most of yesterday. So we opened a box, and it's from Eaton, and yeah, I don't know a lot about the company. It says switchon.eaton.com. I'll read it on there. And we got a frog and a duck and a note that says, "Hi, we want to star in your next video." This is our next video, seeing as I just opened the box and we just got the box. So this is the next video.
This is the next one. It's Devil Duck and Zen Frog.
Yes. Devil, does it say Duck 2? Devil Duck 2 and Zen Frog. I don't know. It's Devil Duck and Zen Frog.
I think it's Devil Duck and then Zen Frog.
That's an and.
I think that's supposed to be like a plus. Devil Duck,
got it.
Devil Duck and Zen Frog.
Anyways, thank you very much, Eaton. And I like the sticky notes because we use sticky notes when we put them on things.
We sure do.
So thank you very much. And they are now featured in our next video. I'll read more about the company. I'm not specifically endorsing because I've never used their products. But hey, this is a good marketing idea.
Sure is.
So they sent us a duck and a frog, and I'm now playing with the frog, and he's squeezing a duck.
I can't stop.
Marvin squeezed a duck.
I will squeeze a duck. I will squeeze a duck all day long.
Yes.
If left to my own devices.
And we were laughing because we have props today. And these are, I think they're called props. I'm not much of a plane person, but they're actually off a drone anyway, so I think they still have the same terminology.
Yeah, I think so.
But you may notice that this is slightly uneven. Oops. That's because, well, it starts with, we got a new sign.
Yay! Insert sign here.
Yeah, we'll put a sign here. Yeah, and so Tom hasn't flown his drone in a while, and it was windy, but I wanted to fly the drone. And first I was super angry because I updated the software, and then I had to re-register my drone. So I had to get on the internet and re-register my drone and connect to the internet to do it while the sign people were here. And I thought I'd just fly the sign, fly around the sign with the drone. Then it was windy, and then through all this, Tom crashed, and that's why that's what we're really getting at here. And just the good news is the only casualty is these propellers. I have not thrown away our props here. And the reason why is I had an idea. Seeing as they're broke this far, we're going to measure it and break it off on the other side. And I want to know what happens when I have I know what happens when there's an uneven one on there. It goes, but when it's not uneven, we'll see if it flies with one on there. That's just a curiosity of how durable the propellers are and will the drone still fly.
Yeah, why not? Because you've crashed the drone once. Why not try it again?
We're going to do this one over the grass and not whack it into the building.
Something about plastic and brick.
Now, this is only the second time since I got my drone like 6-7 months ago that I've crashed it in a epic manner. The first time though, I ended up stepping in poop. So this is much better to. You were there. Yes.
I was like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm bad luck for the drone. I was at both massive crashes.
He was at both crashes. Marvin's around.
It's me. I apologize. Yeah, that was pretty good.
But I didn't step in poop this time.
You
so
didn't.
Much better.
Yeah, that's true. Wind caught it, blew it right into the bushes.
Yeah, and same this time wind blew it into the building, but there was no poop to step in.
Thank goodness.
Much better.
It's because we moved.
Yeah, because we moved.
The old place, it was a possibility.
It's a possibility. So the new place not. Yeah. Other exciting things going on here is we got furniture, appliances.
There it is.
Furniture
I was like,
next.
We did? Where's the furniture?
He was curious about this too.
It's like, oh, sweet.
That's coming next. But we did get some appliances. We got a fridge. We got a
big fridge. We had a mini fridge.
We had a mini fridge.
Now we have a big fridge to fill with stuff.
To fill with things. Actually, I got a box of meat I got to bring in from my car too. That's going to go in the fridge.
How long has it been in your car?
It's still edible.
Okay, cool.
So we got a microwave. So that project's complete. Now, fixing things like the fridge came here because it was broken, and I figured we could fix it. So I took it apart, and it's fixed. So I'm excited. So
no more hitting it on the side.
Well, it worked for a while. So this is the fridge from my house, and we had to. We called it the Mike Tyson fridge. So about once a day,
you had to punch it out.
Yeah, it had a good hit. And it would start right back up and work. Now, you didn't know when you have to hit it, so I just continuously punched it every morning so it wouldn't thaw out.
It would depend. If it was a bald bull, you had to hit it on the second jump.
Yeah.
If it was, what was the guy that did the spin punches, super whatever.
Yeah. So it's the Tyson fridge.
Tyson punch out.
Tyson fridge. Yeah. It's funny, like when I went on vacation, because this fridge was at my house, and it was my actual fridge. And so I went on vacation, and we had to have Steve, while we were gone for a week, go at my house and punch my fridge. And he took video of him, like, line it up and punching the fridge once, and then he'd leave, and that was his.
So the fridge is right over there, and as I'm looking at it, you can actually see all the places where it was punched.
It may have been punched quite a few times. So that was so Tom put a new fridge in his house and donated his old one to the store because the store spent a lot of money on everything else. So we now have a fridge at the store.
Are we to believe that the store didn't buy that fridge to begin with?
in some way, it may have occurred.
Right,
it's somehow how that works.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully, no one from Irish is listening. Look, eventually I pay, and it's
all good.
It's all good. Back to other fun things going on at Large Technologies. Camera systems been going in, and lots of bids going out. And we realized me and Marvin had a conversation because I'm such a distraction. It's like when I'm gone for a while, things get done, and I'm here and things get disrupted again. So we're realizing that perhaps my lack of focus and my jumping around could be detrimental to the business. So. So we stopped and created a little structure for people that need a little structure, because it's like, Tom, you told me to sell this, and then you came in and did this, and then you distracted me over here, and then you said, hey, write a blog post, and you said, hey, I got this idea, and we stopped all work again. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably did that. So we got some focus.
Understanding and accepting it is the first step on the road to recovery.
I am self-aware.
So it's good that he has accepted these things about himself.
Now, something interesting, too. We picked up a German client. Well, they have their base of operations in Germany. They operate here, and we're doing some IT work for them. They were a really neat company. We met them through one of our other companies. And what's really interesting was talking to them. They don't have outsourced email. And that was the first thing. You're like, oh, really? So we're helping them set up the systems here and working with their counterparts in Germany. And everything, all their servers are in-house. And they were very open about, oh, yeah, it's like your government tapped our chancellor. And they were talking about, like, they're very like, oh, yeah. We don't trust any American company to host email. Wow. So we have all of our servers internal. We don't believe in any cloud owned by an American company. We're just like, they said, and even cloud companies that we think probably have spies. So we just do everything in-house. I'm like, that's interesting. Cool.
It's probably a good idea, I suppose.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So when we set everything up, they, really good, well done networking. So they had clear separated networks, everything else, VPNs back to Germany to hide everything. Nothing passes. Even their VoIP was then wrapped in a VPN before it was sent back to Germany, even though it's an encrypted protocol. So they're really strict on privacy. Like, they operate here because they know there's money to be made, but they're not willing to not have anything in a VPN. It's like, everything's a VPN. Sure, we have Comcast for internet, and then we tunnel this and tunnel that. We worked with them. They were actually great people, and we're excited to have them as a new client. So
yeah. And if you're just joining us and you're wondering how the heck a VPN works, we have a video about that.
It involves us throwing ink pens at each other through tubes.
You should check it out.
Check it out. Look, VPN explained with ink pens.
That's right.
That's the video. So there's that. Also, I was at a Goldman Sachs event yesterday. So I'm part of the Goldman Sachs Small Business Program. That was exciting to go to their alumni events. And then I was asked to speak at another event. So that became more me hanging out with some of the Goldman Sachs people that are in this program. It's called the 10,000 Small Business Program. Yes, I did a whole YouTube video explaining what it is, but more information, of course, and this is a nationwide, actually global program, but specifically I'm talking about the one in the U.S. here. You can learn more about it by Googling Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program before you say, isn't that the company that screwed up the economy? Yeah, that is the same Goldman Sachs, but this is something they're doing to help fix things. Corporate system. It was actually a really good program, so I have nothing bad to say about the program at all. It was actually a really interesting experience. To learn more about it there, I did a whole video where I kind of get a debrief on what the program is. But go there, learn about it. No need to be angry about who Goldman Sachs is at all in regards to this. They're a company trying to do some of the right things. Sure, companies make mistakes in the name of money and whatever. So this is not a discussion on that. Back to other fun news, though. So I've been trying to figure out how to do, so for my podcast, SMLR, we have a whole news section. Well, right now, so one of the co-hosts went to Iceland, another one went to Japan, and another one is, where's Tony's in Italy. So, you know, we have some bank shows we're releasing from our Microsoft, which means I don't get to read my news stuff, and I'm always excited about the news things that are happening. So I have all this news I've been building up, so I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. I think maybe I'm just going to throw more news things. I did kind of one in there about how dots help catch an NSA leaker.
Which my wife was fascinated by.
Oh, and now people know that there's printer dots.
Yeah, she watched it. She actually watched it last night, and I was like, okay, listen, this stuff is interesting to me and my ilk. I was like, but are you actually interested in this? And she was like, actually, yeah, it is interesting. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, so it's an interesting video, even if you're not into this. Yeah,
it's the technical stuff. I don't get into the political aspect of it. There's always there's all kinds of ramifications there, and all the details of the case aren't known. So I never like to base my opinion on some hyperbole I heard in the news, because the same news people that both have their own opinions on either side also were saying that she was caught by the folds they noticed in the paper. 2 news agencies said that. That's part of what set Tom off, going, no, it wasn't folds in the paper. It was not. It was tiny little yellow dots that give the serial number. That's how they know. They didn't go, oh, it's folded this way. We know a person there who folded. They tried to explain that away in the news. I'm like, you're the news.
Are you insinuating, Tom, that the news will get things wrong?
They may even say it was a fax when it was not a fax. And I'm going to do another video about that, because I think enough time has passed in that investigation that I can talk about it. Which leads me to something else Tom wants to talk about. So I love the details behind the news, and there's a few places that kind of give some of that, but I like specifically the technical details and of how something happened, how a hack occurred. I'm really looking for some resources. If not, I may start an entire blog called How They Got Hacked. And what I want to do is, people I talk to on Reddit and things like that, basically they're IT sysadmin stories and debriefs of how a hack or a systems failure occurred. Now, a lot of that, and Reddit does a good job of this, it's posted in a more anonymous fashion, because it's not that we're trying to point out the company at all. The goal is to educate other IT people as to what went wrong with a series of systems or a company and the process and procedures that went wrong that could have prevented the incident from happening. So it's an educational thing of a debrief on how the hack occurred and what steps could have been taken to mitigate it. And sometimes we brush it over broadly and say, oh, it's just security. They should just had a better this or a better that. But some of the hacks, especially there was one of them on Reddit about a month or two ago where a sysadmin detailed how they got hacked, and then the hacker ransomwared them, and they thought their systems were protected. They weren't, and so they had to pay some of the ransom, but in agreement, the hacker also would disclose if they paid the ransom. And these are back and forth communications, which I thought was fascinating, of how he got in the systems. Okay. And it turned out they had a really, as they kept calling it, a complicated and only one guy understood it firewall rule set, which led to it not being audited very well, which led to a port being open that they didn't know was open because they weren't doing external vulnerability scans, which led to someone had set a backup password with the username backup and a weak password. So their admin passwords, admin was disabled, but other users had admin privilege, but they all had really high entropy passwords, really complicated passwords for those outside of security, but really complicated passwords. And so they couldn't figure out what exactly had happened. And the guy even let them know the list of tools. So he gains access to backup, which backup has admin privileges, weak password, and they'd set it because some backup programs need to run as backup. So you sometimes will just set a weaker password because you're thinking, oh no, users are really logging in as this, so the password's not being seen. Yeah. Slip of the mind. And you're also thinking there's no external access. So there was, accidentally, through a firewall rule that got changed. So anyways,
it's interesting that the hacker would actually tell him this is how I did it, because like now he can't do that again.
Oh, well, they locked down the systems and everything afterwards. Right. They were in full audit mode after they got hit.
But still.
But the concept's there, and I want to start publicizing more of them. Even when we've done debriefs on clients, and before I can just do it myself because there would be some leakage if I only was the one doing it, I want stories submitted from other people and do breakdowns, and so that way it's all mixed. I mean, I have my own stories in there too, and I mix them all together. Everything's anonymized because the purpose has nothing to do, like you said, with outing the company. It's all about how they got hacked and how the details of how it occurred, so someone can look at it from a security standpoint, go, man, I'm gonna double check my systems to make sure I'm not doing those same things.
Probably a good idea. Yeah,
probably a good idea. So it's an educational idea I have, so I can share with other people and go from there.
Educational purposes only.
Educational purposes only. But you got to hear your stuff. Yeah. So next
Lock
thing,
it down.
And back to my news topics is so Booz Allen Hamilton. They are such a famous company. There was a great headline. They're a military contractor, and they were cited as probably being one of the most profitable military contractor out there. But you may know them by the people who employed Snowden. And now more famously again, and this goes back to my news and government insecurities, apparently they dumped an entirety of credentials onto a public server on Amazon.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Now this brings me back to my roots of exploring things and systems, and I did this for years. So you can find, back in the early days of the internet, used to be what we refer to as open FTP servers, people who accidentally dump things in directories, and we would just randomly search for them, and they're public repositories, and go, look, we found a thing, and there's no password on it, and we could just see whatever those things are. And usually just BS or random, as occasionally companies would just accidentally dump their files there, because they would turn on FTP for a vendor and open up their entire directory to it. So these are things I did back in the 90s and early 2000s, and they were always stuff that was funny to do.
For educational purposes only.
For educational purposes only. And a similar thing happens now. And now we have, the Amazon cloud. Now, Amazon actually supports government services. They have a .gov cloud system, essentially. So it's a government secure cloud system. Somehow, some way, and Booz Hamilton isn't talking about it, and I'm sure, but everyone else in the security community is, they dumped all the credential files to a public Amazon. And what happens is they're called Amazon buckets, and they're storage buckets on the Amazon S3 servers. And what they do is you can randomly generate like characters and things like that, and look for things inside there. Now, you should be properly configuring your Amazon services to be secure and locked down, but sometimes people don't check the little box and they make things public. Now, there's reasons for making things public, because sometimes you use the back end of Amazon to host a website, so everything needs to be accessible, and that's how you keep your website fast. You're like, oh, I have all these big files need downloaded, so here's my website, and then it backlinks to, Amazon or however you're setting it up. So there's a reason for doing it, but the credentials of all top secret officials, probably not something that should ever even been considered being on that, because the government servers are locked down by default with special permissions where Amazon has it. That way it's harder to screw up. Well, they put it on the standard one that me or you could just sign up for, where it's really easy to screw up. And, companies screw up and they accidentally release things, but those companies aren't government contractors that just got handed $86 million to secure things and then dumped them. Now, this was found by a security researcher and reported, but here's where it gets interesting, is the question arises. A security researcher found it, reported it, it's taken down. That's a great, honorable thing to do. What if it was found before then? And if it's found before then you now have a problem of these guys dumped and copied it, the people who have found it before the security researcher, and then that leads to the exploits of them logging into government systems, because this was the full credential stacks that were needed to log in, as I understand, of the data. Yeah. So this was really, really bad.
Ouch.
Like hugely bad. Just bigly bad.
Bigly, yes.
I've heard that's a good word. So, yeah, this is just really crazy.
It's the best. It's the best breach ever.
It's the best breach ever.
It's terrific.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And I speculated and made my jokes about it. And, one of the questions really comes down to, is the government just tired of, the shadow brokers and places like that selling their government data? We're just going to give it away to the general public. Or we're going to show those hackers, we're going to put them out of business. Because frequently what happens is, and the shadow brokers is one of the famous ones that led to the WannaCry virus, because they had the toolkit from the NSA that was leaked, and it was called Eternal Blue. That was part of an exploit kit. So the whole series of events and threat stacking that occurred, but they were selling the knowledge of the government documents. This is what happens. They get a cache of them, and then they will try to sell them on the dark web black markets to other places. So if the government just gives them all away, you can't sell them. I'm giving away all of our secure login, top secret, confidential stuff. Yeah. The ridiculousness of security now.
It's perfect. It's the best way to deal with it.
I had a security friend in the forum comment, wow, I can't even find a job, and this kind of stupidity is going to government level. I'm like, honestly, you should go apply at Booz Hamilton. I have a feeling they could be hiring right now. I have a feeling there would be some job postings in the security department.
Right, and you've seen the bar. You know what the bar is. So,
Yeah, the bar is, did you not do that?
Yeah, now, so try not to dump top secret information onto public servers.
Try not to.
If you could, that would be awesome.
If you could, that'd be great. That would be
a deal breaker, though.
Not deal breaker. Don't do that. Yeah.
Try not to do it.
Yeah. And on to related news to that, another story from Reddit that was really good. And boy, this was just it was in one of those just face palm, just like the other one, but it was for a company. Now, we don't know the company's name, and it's not relevant either. But so they hire a new guy, and they hand the new guy keys to the kingdom. And he's he was doing some type of development work, so programming, and they gave him access to the database. Now, what you're supposed to do, you create a separate development environment. So here's our main database that runs this major corporation that has all the important data in there. We hope it's all backed up. We'll get to that part. Then there's a work instruction how to create a local copy yourself of data so you can start learning the tools that they use. So you have your development environment and you go, hey, does this stuff work? Then we copy it over to the production environment, and that's generally roughly and briefly how development occurs. So you don't just push things out. You know, they have a, how does this program work? How does the program work if I change the code over here? It works good. It doesn't crash the entire system. It doesn't wipe the entire system. So we put it over here. Well,
remember that last part.
Yeah, remember the last part. So while reading the work instructions, if I understood this, the work instructions actually gave you the details on the main database. And it says, like, you know, insert your own database name here to create it. But instead of doing that, the person just kind of goes, I don't know, I read the work instruction, first day at work, you know, you're excited, you're nervous, and types all the commands. Instead of putting his own database, he uses the name of the production database, which is actually the name in the work instruction. Well, then he issues the basically dump command and erases the entire database and everything. Everyone freaks out, and he fessed up to it, but they've now threatened legal action. They fired him immediately, said this is your first day, last day, and he's like, well, I'm sorry, is there anything I can do to help? They said, no, we're going to get legal department involved. And, you know, young guy just out of essentially programming school or whatever, and so really nervous about this, and he posts the debrief of this on Reddit, and everyone's like, kind of encouraging, and he was really happy about it. Kind of blew up of, you know, dude, I'll represent you. Like, they should have not given a junior sysadmin without a lot of experience, like their first real job, entire access to the kingdom, and then not had any backups of anything. So they are inept. Now, this goes a bit deeper, and we were actually talking with a guy from the IT and AD event. He works in the compliance industry. So industries that have certain government compliances literally have rules that say you can't just hand over access to the new guy. There's vetting processes, there's process procedures and things like that. So whatever this company is could have bigger problems themselves legally because obviously their customers had a service interruption that used the system, and so it's all downhill from there.
I'm sure that company has like you don't get vacation days for 6 months. So you can't be trusted with vacation days for 6 months, but here's everything you need to wipe the database on your first day.
On your first day. Oh, and we don't have any backups of the database either. So
why would we need
be careful.
Why would we need a backup?
Why would we need a backup? So and the final fun thing that we're doing over here, and then we'll wrap this up, is we have some builds we're going to be doing that I'm going to actually be doing on video, and I'm reaching out to some other YouTubers, so we're going to partner with them on doing some cross-promoting videos, so that's exciting stuff coming up. And then the builds will get documented, some, you know, because we're kind of back in the swing of things here, the building's built out, and so if someone knows, someone commented and was happy that we're posting more videos, we're trying to get a more regular content schedule, besides Vlog Thursday, which is the only thing we've been able to keep somewhat regular. But yeah,
because for Thursdays we take our Metamucil that keeps us regular.
It keeps us regular.
Boom.
I was just waiting for like Marvin's like, I said regular twice, and Marvin's like, I gotta be regular.
I was like, I got this. Here, hold my beer.
There's a comedic insert right here.
Boom, nailed it. I'm done. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. So yeah, one of them's going to be, and we got a big job approval on our FreeNAS build, and that's going to be a fun one because I think it's 27 terabytes we're building server. 27 terabyte. Yeah, lots of terabytes.
Wow.
We're working out the details. It's in the quote, and they signed it. Steve worked out the details, and Steve's going to do some videos too about technical things that go on here, and he likes talking about it, so we're going to get into those details. Plus, as always, we didn't, print them up ahead of time, but big thank you to everyone who commented, because we're fascinated by all the people that are not just in the U.S., but that took the time to learn English and watch us and live in another country. So I'm like, because I don't know.
We assume they learned English simply to watch our videos.
Yeah.
And to comment to us. But we had the Netherlands,
New Zealand, Australia, Texas. Wait, They haven't succeeded yet. They're still American.
Close enough. It's a different world down there.
It's a little bigger in Texas.
That's a word you could use.
Yeah. So there's Texas.
We love Texas.
Yeah.
But
with a lot of people from Europe, that's just awesome. We're excited to international audience. You know, it's like that just.
Yeah. If any of our European friends would like to send us swag, please feel free. Maybe there's a duck with that squeaks with an accent.
Candy bars.
Oh, candy bars would be good. Yeah.
We love food. We love spicy foods. So there's all kinds of fun stuff. So we're also gonna do some of the spicy videos because we've been eating this stuff called flashbang. Look it up. It's like people do it as a challenge. We do it as Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's like
right.
Let's put this on a hot dog and see what occurs.
Well, now hold on. Put it on. It was already a red hot hot dog. Okay, and this is the stuff I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where like I had like a single drop on my finger. And my eyes almost burned out of my head, and my finger still had like the burn on it for 2 days. Steve took a red hot hot dog and slathered it with this stuff. And then I loved watching him because he would take a bite. Ow. 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 And then he'd set it down and like pace around the office for a few and go, oh God. And then we're all like, you could just not eat it. And he's like, no, must finish.
Gotta finish it. And then he did it the next day on some chicken. It was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he
bad.
did the chicken the next day. There's just no way he has a stomach lining left.
Exactly.
Nope.
So thanks for watching. If you like the content here, like and subscribe. Once again, we love the comments, suggestions for videos and ideas and fun things like that. So appreciate it.
See you next week.
See you next week. Wonder what happens if we turn our microwave on.
Ooh, with your camera inside.
Yeah.
Whoops.